Welcome to the Project Violet podcast. My name is Daniel Lay.
And I'm Carrie Maselli.
All right, Carrie, I'm trying my best this morning. I've switched officially to tea instead of coffee, and it's been rough.
I I support you. However, I don't understand it. Can I just say that? Yeah.
Yeah, originally it was because I have to go to the dentist, and I haven't gone in like 2 years, and I was looking at like some of my tea. I was like, oh, it's really like coffee stains. So I
Oh
heard
yeah.
tea, kind of removes that. So I went like full whitening toothpaste for 2 weeks, and then I went tea, and yeah. I miss coffee. It's been rough.
Maybe you can think of I feel like there's a balance maybe. Or like maybe a
Yeah.
coffee
A
instead of
coffee and then
eight
I switched to
coffees.
tea. Yeah. I don't know. I mean I've got this kind of matcha green tea thing going, which supposedly helps the brain as I
I
stumble on my
mean,
words. So I don't know.
you're struggling, but it's going to be okay. I mean, I think like anything, the obstacle is the way, right? Like the only way is through, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yes.
get there.
Ryan
Maybe you're
Holiday.
just today's trickier, but I got you. We're good. Let's just
Yeah, you're carrying this episode.
yeah, don't I carry them all? Really? If we're
Well,
I'm
in
kidding. I'm
energy, yeah,
kidding.
for sure.
You know I'm
Yeah. No,
kidding.
no, no.
My gosh, I'm kidding
No, yeah.
completely.
I am not offended at all.
I
All
know.
right.
That's why I said that because I knew you wouldn't take me seriously.
All right, so what are we talking about today? So today we are talking about the work preferences survey, which is something that was really fun. So we did this again in the consulting side for the AI upskilling stuff that we're doing. So we created an AI assistant. So everyone that was in the community that day, we created a custom GPT or a Copilot agent that essentially had all their work preferences loaded in, and that was an agent they could, or a like a an assistant they could share with everyone on their team. So whenever someone had a question about, their work preferences, whether they liked, working early in the mornings, in the afternoon, any work pet peeves, stuff like that. And we'll go
Hmm.
through some of those questions today. But if anyone had any questions, they could go to the AI assistant first before they engage the person. And that was kind of the whole, let's kind of use AI to our benefit and how can
Yes.
we accelerate through the team development stages that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And enhance, like, again, it's like we talked about last time. It's like enhancing the human connection part. Like, it's getting some of the stuff out of the way so that we can focus our energy on the connecting and on the collaboration. Right?
Yeah. It's a great tool. Every time I've used it on projects, I usually do it at the beginning of a project. It's
Huh?
such a bonding, like team bonding experience, and you get to know so much about people quick and early. And yeah, you avoid a lot of conflict too, I think. It's a great way to get a project started.
Not to mention it helps the person answering the survey, who's participating in the team
Hmm.
work preferences discussion. Like I know, speaking from experience, it helps me really better understand myself and what I need. Sometimes we don't even think about these things in this direct way. And so when you're asked to answer these questions that you're gonna, give us a couple of examples of, it
Yeah.
really helps in their self-awareness too. And it gives you a little bit of a break to be like, oh, this is what I need. And it's really easy to ask for it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, so the questions originally came from Claire Liu, and I think we've talked about her on the podcast before, and
Mm-hmm.
she runs a company called Canopy. So we'll link her original questions down below. And what we've done is we've taken it as kind of a starting point, and we've kind of scaled it back because I think it's 23 questions, and that's a lot
We don't
to
want to
get through.
overwhelm people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's great. I mean, you start with that, and then you scale it back. You customize it to what makes sense for your team. We've changed a few questions, added a few, took
Mm-hmm.
some away. Um, but yeah, I've found that it's great for getting through those forming and storming stages of team development.
For sure.
All right, do you want to jump into some of these questions so people
I'd
can get
love
a
to.
taste of
Yes.
what it is?
Let's
Okay.
hear them.
So the first one, which is the one that I really like kicking off with because it's kind of an easy question, but it's also very surprising. I always get surprising answers. So it goes, where on the spectrum of extrovert to introvert would you place yourself?
Now, I think you need to, can you, because I learned something about this from
Hmm.
you that I had never heard before. There's a third option.
Yeah. So we actually did this in a poll in the community, and it was, I think the responses I gave was strongly introverted, more introverted than extroverted. And in the middle there's ambivert, which was a
Uh-huh.
new word that I didn't even know existed. And then it was more extroverted than introverted, and then strongly extroverted. So people could kind of choose on that spectrum.
Sure.
And ambivert is, I guess, you're 50-50, like
Yes.
extroverted and introverted, which was
Right.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
almost think, well, and so do you want my answer? Like I wanted to
Yeah.
preface with that because I think this is important, right? I not only do I love it because I think about all the years that you had to pick one or the other to describe yourself or any of us, right?
Hmm.
And it doesn't always feel like you're one or the other, right? So I love
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
ambivert,
It's a
in
spectrum.
the middle because it feels good, in the moment. I think we're not always ever one thing all the time.
Hmm.
I would say though, if I had to answer for myself, which I am answering for myself, I, between ambivert and more extroverted for
Okay.
sure. Like
Same.
I definitely,
Yeah.
I get energy from others. There's no question. But the caveat here, and this is why I kind of tip into like more of that middle.
Hmm.
And I don't even know if this isn't even scientific, by the way, but I tip into that middle because I don't get energy from all people. Some people completely drain me. Right. So
I know
it's,
those people.
I'm not interested in small talk. I'm not interested, in a networking event. Truly, sorry, don't want to do it. I don't want to talk to people I don't want to talk to, that want to keep things really surface and aren't just really. I want to talk to people that are my batch, people who are curious and interesting and
Sure.
engaging
Yeah.
in a way that it's a dialogue, not
Hmm.
a monologue, at each other kind of thing. So does that make sense? I'm gonna stop talking. What do you think about that? And knowing
Yeah.
me, you know me too. What do you think?
Well, I would have placed you strongly extroverted,
Hmm.
just with my interactions with you. Because every time where I've seen you in kind of a team setting, or when we're doing even networking events, even though you probably hate them, like
Yeah,
you're
I do.
always kind of buzzing around and
Yeah.
kind of enthusiastic and talking to people and smiling. Where usually I'm just like in the corner
Ah,
sipping
well,
tea now.
I'm glad that that's the perception of me because I
Mhm.
despise small talk. I despise networking, but I can do it. I'm good at it, right? I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and you have a natural ability to connect with people, I think too, which is
Yeah.
I don't know. Usually I find, well, introverted people can connect too. It's just,
They sure can.
yeah, just less inclined to do it. Yeah. So I'm on the other end. So I'm
Yeah, tell
strongly
me.
introverted. Yeah. As you
We
can,
we're
sure. Yeah.
both ends.
Other ends of the spectrum. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I used to hate going out to these networking events and team building exercises, talking to people in general. And usually when I do those events, I need to like decompress and spend some time just by myself, and I need to like
Sure.
come down from that. And yeah, it's not fun for me, but I've learned how to do it and manage
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
but
a
yeah,
journey, isn't it?
it's a
I hate that saying so much, but it's true. Like
yeah, it's a journey.
you
Like
figure
I've
out what's
learned.
necessary. Some things we have to do. It's like you always tell me, eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in consulting, like you're constantly going to client sites, you're taking clients out to dinner and all that kind of stuff. So I've learned how to pretend to be extroverted. And I think that's why I love this question because a lot of people think I'm extroverted because I've learned how to fake it. And then when they find out I'm introverted, it kind of helps me explain myself sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a much deeper understanding, and what somebody needs. And when you do wander off on your own to recharge, or you do bow out, like at everybody goes to the bar after the thing, and you're like, see everybody in the morning kind of thing. Like there's a reason, for
Hmm.
that.
Yep. All right. Next question.
Okay.
How do you tend to organize your workday and your work week?
I've noticed that the front end of my week is heavier. Like, well, wait a minute. I don't even know about that. Fridays for sure, I protect like all heck. Like I want to make sure that I have time. I have time set aside for reflection. That's something that we've talked about and that I added to my calendar years ago
Mm,
when I just thought I was running from one thing to another and never really pausing to think about my week or the decisions that I made or the things that I, have to prepare for. So I really protected that Friday in a way that
Friday.
I don't even, if I can help it, I don't even have client meetings on Fridays.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to someone on a Friday, it's someone internal, on the team who we're working, to prepare for something the next week or the week after. It's my day for
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like that's a very consulting kind of work week
Yeah.
too. Yeah, usually
Yeah.
Fridays is you fly home from client sites on Thursday evenings, and then Fridays is kind
Yeah.
of your expense reports and kind of
Yeah.
relaxing a bit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I usually follow this up with what part of the day do you tend to work the best in, or what part of the day do you, if you have something like heavy that you need deep thinking, deep
Uh-huh.
work,
Yeah.
when do you schedule it?
I am a middle of the day gal. I am not a
Really?
morning person. Yes. And I'll tell you, it's like a 10 to 2. It's like I'm driving, it's like me in the middle.
Oh.
And going back to this whole thing about how ambivert, really opens up the possibility of who you might be in your self-awareness and learning about yourself.
Hmm.
Same thing goes with this. I saw a woman who I love. Her name is Ashley Anderson, and she has a community that she's built. And I follow her on LinkedIn. She's a friend of mine. And she posted once about, are you a morning person? And we've always seen historically, haven't we? Like you're either a morning person or a night person or night owl or whatever, however you describe it. And she said, morning person, middle of the day, or night. And I'd never seen it
Yeah,
presented in
describe that
that
way. Yeah.
way.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
it was thrilling for me because I thought, oh my gosh, finally, because my whole life, Daniel, I am not a morning person, nor am I staying up late. Like I'm neither of those things. And so when you get me to 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Here we
I
are. I
like
will
it.
spend my whole morning putzing, doing all kinds of things, avoiding, anything that I have to do until 10 o'clock. And then like a 10 to 2 range, I'm productive as all get out.
Yeah, that's actually really good to know. And I don't think I knew that about you.
No, well, there you go. See,
I
it's
just
helpful.
I realize we do schedule our meetings usually at the yeah, that time period.
That's
So
right.
that 10 a.m. mark or 9 a.m. for me. But
Yeah.
oh, very interesting. Yeah.
What
And
about you?
I'm a morning person.
Yeah,
So
I think
I
I think I knew that. Yeah.
yeah, so I do a lot of my deep work, a lot of my kind of deep thinking and in the mornings. And then afternoons I tend to get a little more tired. But that's
Mhm.
usually if I have meetings where I need to, talk with people, usually I'll push it to the afternoon because I want to focus on work in the morning. That's when I do my
Mhm.
best work. So, yeah.
Those days are probably even more exhausting for you because your brain is firing all morning and then you've got to engage
Yeah.
with people in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, those are tiring days, but that's the way I prefer it because I want to do my
Yeah.
best work in the morning and have what's fresh on my mind.
Well, and in my experience, that brain of yours, a very impressive brain of yours, is never like it's always firing.
It doesn't stop. Yeah.
Mine, I think, has like a shutdown automatically. Like,
No, yeah, I need to find ways to like unwind and shut it off, but without going to like TikTok or anything like that.
well, there's that.
Yeah, there's that. All right, next one. This one usually takes a long time because you can go a lot of different directions. But how would you describe your communication style?
In a nutshell, direct
Hmm.
for me. um, I would say some even think I would say assertive,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, which, I'd like to bust that myth a little bit too about assertive being aggressive or, abrasive or harsh. Like assertive is very different. Assertive is clear, right? It's not abrasive. It's not harsh. You can be empathetic and kind and also speak in an assertive manner.
Hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you
I
said
don't
something before,
mince
like clear
words.
is kind or something, and that's how I
Yeah.
took it. It was, when you're clear,
Yes.
you're being assertive, you're being,
Yeah. That's right.
candid, but you know, there could be a kindness wrapper around that for sure.
Absolutely. One does not, what is it? They're not mutually exclusive. Is that the right use of that
Yeah.
phrase?
Hmm.
I always get tripped up on that phrase. But yeah, I think, for me, I'm going to say what needs to be said, in a way that is, again, kind or thoughtful in some way. I'm not going to try to bulldoze somebody like I did in my early days. In my 20s, I was I would say probably almost aggressive, in the way that I communicated. But, as you grow in maturity and age, you realize what is most effective, right? And this
Hmm.
idea, and it's most important to me that I am considerate of my conversation partner, but I am not going to dance around something.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I think that again, like you said, clear is kind. I think we need to be honest with one another about how we're working, how we experience each other. What we could do better.
Yep.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, that's me.
And I usually follow up this question with on a project, getting into more logistics. How do you
Yeah.
like to be communicated to, do you do you like texting? Do you like chat? Do you like email, phone calls? Like what channels do you use for what types of communication?
I in an ideal situation, I would prefer to have a conversation every single time I'm gonna, work through something with somebody because I do process things verbally, though, and I do my best processing of things
Hmm.
verbally. However, that is not going to work, in a workplace team setting all the time. rarely actually, do you have an opportunity to talk through something with someone. So I would say otherwise, I mean, I have a lot of colleagues who want, an email or they want a Teams chat, and I don't care. I check them both. Like it really, I think it
Okay.
depends on um, like what's the right word here? Like the nature of it. Like if it's a quick thing,
Hmm.
like chat me, right? It's if it's just but if it's like a longer, more detailed thing that I need to spend a minute with, send me an email,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and that's why usually, when I did it, usually I'm managing the team, so I would give my preferences as if it's an emergency, send me a text, and
Okay.
then I'll respond to that. I love emails. Emails is my preference, and I
Okay.
love I love FYI emails. So, usually if I'm managing multiple teams, I'll say, hey, I love if you guys just send me emails, assume that I've read it because I actually keep pretty close to an inbox zero, so I'll
Wow.
read everything, but I won't respond to it. So I love telling, the people on my team, send me in the subject, say FYI, and then put the subject and then give me the email. And I love getting information because I don't want to be surprised by anything in like leadership meetings. But
Yes.
but keep sending me content or keep sending me emails with updates and love FYI emails. If it's emergency, text me and then we'll jump on a quick call. Um,
Right.
otherwise, not a big fan of chat unless it's, something we need to like quickly go through, like you're in a meeting and you have a question for me. But yeah, I prefer email, and I won't respond. Assume I've read it, but I won't respond unless you ask me something direct or there's something that I need from you. So
I love that
yeah,
a lot. And I bet that the people who are working for you really appreciate that
yeah,
direction. Okay, assume I've read it.
yeah,
If you need a response, now do you ask them to put if a response is required of you? Is it
yeah.
in the
Yes,
subject?
yeah.
Yep.
Ask me a question and put that what you need from me in the first line.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, don't bury it in the email. If you need something from me, you want me to respond, put it. Ask the question first and then give me the context.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah. So yeah, this is all great stuff to, people on your team would love to hear, right? So if someone is emailing me and we didn't have this conversation, we didn't talk about the work preferences survey, and they'd be like, "Oh, Daniel never answers my emails. He
He's
must hate me."
right. They
Yeah.
can, and they'll tell themselves all kinds of
Yeah.
stories about who you are and how you're working with them and
Yeah.
how you're not supporting them or you're this or that. I mean, people just will start to spin.
Yeah,
You clear all
exactly.
of that up by saying, "I'm reading it. I assure you."
Yeah. So yeah, I love that. So assume I've read the email. I love it when you send me an FYI email. And
Yeah.
that's your way of like giving me information without the expectation of me responding and all that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that's usually where I go with this question.
I like it a lot. See how this already, it just, don't you feel better? Like
Yeah.
it clears up so much. I mean, clear is kind.
Yeah,
Again,
it
just keep
eliminates
saying.
assumptions too, which is,
Yes.
always a good thing. All right,
Uh-huh.
next one. What's your orientation towards conflict?
Oh, I do not seek it out. However, I do not back down from it either.
Yeah.
So if it is necessary, I am in it. I'm there. I would say um, I don't enjoy it, though, the older I get, the better I am at it, right? Because if you approach conflict with this sense of curiosity and wanting to understand where the other person is coming from and what their outcome is, like oftentimes our desired outcome is the same,
Hmm.
if you're in conflict with somebody. But I believe like I'm not going to back down from it. I think, I'm a feedback champion. If I can have a conversation in a way that includes some sort of kind yet clear feedback, on what someone's doing or how it's affecting others.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going to shy away from it, but I don't like it. I mean, I think that there's often that misperception that people who handle it or like don't shy away from it or want it or seek it out, I'm
Hmm.
not interested in it. I would love a world in which I don't have to manage any sort of conflict. That's not
Hmm.
realistic,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to avoid it. I'm just going to eat. Again, it's another example of eat your vegetables.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's always interesting because some people will be very candid in this, and they'll say, "I avoid conflict at all costs."
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to know that. So when something comes up, you can approach it a little more delicately. And this is a question that I think follows the feedback question, which I didn't include in this podcast. But yeah, it kind of works its way up into conflict. But I
Right.
love this question because then you can start talking about what is the right way to resolve conflict amongst our team. How do you guys prefer? Usually I'll say if it's something that you have a problem with me with, I would love for you to schedule a one-on-one and let's talk about it, in private. Let's not hash this out in front of everyone.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I don't avoid conflict, but like you, I don't seek it in any way. And I usually like things to be pretty smooth and calm. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's generally the vibes I'm giving. But yeah, conflict always arises, and it's good to know what's kind of the right playbook to engage certain people when,
Mm-hmm.
an issue. So
My kids play sports, and I think in my observation, one of the hardest things that any kid has to overcome when they're doing anything, sports is just the analogy I'm using because it fits, in my life. But there's this, it's the mental piece, right, of having to get, when they make a mistake, they have to get over it, right, and they struggle
yeah,
when they're younger in doing that. I even see the difference between my daughter in JV volleyball versus the seniors playing varsity, and how they quickly move on from a missed serve or a whatever, right, like
yeah,
they're
reset. Yeah.
because they're 4 years older than my daughter, right? And they're like
Yeah.
literally almost adults. And I think um, it's the same thing with like the conversation had to become with my kids, not if you make a mistake, but when.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same situation at work with conflict. When there's conflict, not if there's conflict,
hmm
when there's conflict, how will we manage it? And I think when someone shares with you candidly that they avoid it like the plague,
Yeah.
you can say, okay, fair. And thank you for telling me that. Yet when we avoid, this is what happens, right?
Yeah.
So let's work together in a way that, we can come up with a plan, and how, like you said, the one-on-one conversation or whichever, like this is a safe space for you to be able to share what's bothering you or what you're not getting from your teammates,
Yeah.
in a way that we can work through this. But it's not an if, it's a when.
Yeah. And it's a good callback. So if someone avoids conflict a lot, you can even say when you're approaching them, hey, I know when we talked about this, you avoid conflict. I really need you to, work through this with me right
Here's
now.
how you're going to grow.
Yeah.
Who lives in a world without it?
There you go.
I mean, and if they do, it's like superficial or
hmm
artificial, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like it just means that they're harboring all these like feelings and opinions about things, right? And just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
moving through the world, like just mad at somebody.
Yeah. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Right.
All right,
Right.
last question. What's your
Okay.
biggest work-related pet peeve?
I thought about this, and I mean, at first I was like, couldn't think of a single thing. And then like, well, that's ridiculous, right? And then I thought of all these other like really petty things that I didn't want
And
to
then
talk
your
about.
list just
So
got a
yeah.
lot.
So then,
You're like, I have
and then I'm
nothing.
like, Carrie,
Actually, I
relax.
have
So
20.
right. Like how much time do you have? So I decided that I would like to talk with you about I really get annoyed when people approach a conversation or a situation with me or anyone truly that is not based in curiosity, where they're coming with a bunch of assumptions
Hmm.
and um, haven't taken the time, right, to understand and level set before problem solving or whatever it might be. Like I see that a lot. I experience it a lot. And I find myself either having to like fight uphill to get this person to just pause for a second and go back to the beginning, right?
Hmm.
To learn more about where I might be coming from or what the situation is. Um, and it's annoying. You said it's annoying, right? Or pet
Yeah,
peeve was the question.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very annoying to me.
Hmm.
What do you think of that?
Well, what advice would you give me to approach conversations with you? Like, come with more curiosity
I
or
think you already do.
yeah.
I've never felt truly
hmm
any like that you're anything but curious. And I don't think you make a lot of assumptions about me or
No.
you don't do
Ex-
that. You don't do
ex-
that. I wouldn't be
Except
sitting
that
here
I
talking
thought
to you
you're
if you did that. Like, honestly, the people who do this to me are not people I enjoy working with, like,
yeah.
full stop. Right. So the
Mhm.
fact that we're friends
Yeah.
is
Well,
enough to
I
be like,
assumed you were extroverted, so I did come with some assumptions. But
well,
it,
that's
w
fair though. I am. I
mhm.
am. You're not wrong.
No, yeah, or say like don't put me as the example, but someone that maybe they don't come with that approach to conversations. Um, how would you like? What kind of advice would you be like? Just like as you're talking with me, maybe like pause for a second every once in a while and ask a clarifying question.
Yeah. Or like from the jump, I'm thinking about like specific, I'm, I'm trying to like, like draw from like a specific conversation. There's always an opportunity in any work or personal conversation, I think, to and not personal, throw that out. That's not even, I don't want
Hmm.
to talk about that. But at
Yeah.
work, if someone's doing this, it means like if I'm having a conversation with somebody that is somebody that I don't work with a lot of the time, because the people that I work with all the time do not annoy me. I wouldn't be,
It's not a common, very common occurrence with the
not at
teams
all, because
that you
I
work
just
with.
wouldn't, I don't think I'd be working with them. Right. I mean, there's this
Hmm.
overarching, like, how are we going to get anything done if they're annoying me? Right. So the people I work with on a daily basis are wonderful, and we know how to talk to each other. When someone
I
comes
want
to me and it,
names. I want names, Carrie. Just
when
kidding.
we
Just
when
kidding.
we stop recording, you can have all the names. In fact, you've probably already heard them. So I just think that in the beginning of any conversation, there's a moment where both parties can benefit from, like I said, a level set. Like, hey, we're here. We set aside this time. Let's talk about where we're both trying to get to, right? And then what is it that you don't know about where I'm coming from, or what? I think we can just say. I mean, sometimes I don't even get a word in when
Mhm.
it comes to working with some people, and um, it doesn't feel good
Yeah.
to not be heard, right? Or to be able
Oh
to
yeah.
express your perspective or share some information that you might have that somebody else could benefit from. I mean, it is really it's
Mm.
to their detriment, isn't it?
Yeah.
To anyone's detriment when we don't approach with curiosity.
I think that's a great conversation to have at the beginning too, because then people who probably know that they have a tendency to just keep talking and talking,
Yeah.
this gives them a space to be reminded, hey, sometimes you need to take a pause and, as you're talking with Carrie on calls, definitely ask for her opinion every once in a while.
Well, it's not even just me though, is it? Like, doesn't
No,
everybody
yeah,
want
that's the
that?
thing. I
Yeah.
think it's a great way. Like you're kind of taking the bullet to have the broader conversation with
Oh,
the team
yes.
about
Yeah.
like, hey, let's all give each other some space and to share our ideas, to ask clarifying questions, to give our perspective, and not have one person always dominate the conversation. So I think like you
Right.
bringing that forward allows the whole team to have that conversation and that mindset of, hey, when we come together as a team, let's give everyone, a chance to
Yeah.
speak and let's not dominate if we can, don't have to.
Yeah. There's also this moment where you can say something like, and I have before, of like, tell me what you know about the situation. Because if I say to them, what don't you know?
Mm.
They're gonna be like, I know it all, right? Like, because they don't know what they don't know. So instead, it's tell me what
Yeah.
share with me your understanding of the situation in front of us.
Yeah.
And then I
Mm.
can fill in gaps if they let
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then we're working together now,
Yeah.
moving on the same train, to get to that outcome.
I like
We're not
that.
sitting with each other, but we're at least on the
Hmm.
train.
Yeah. I love that. I love how this conversation, spurs on more conversations and more
Uh-huh.
ideas and more things. And it's all getting to the same place. Let's get on the same train and move together.
Yes.
I love it.
I mean, this is the beauty of the work preferences in general, isn't it?
Hmm.
What about you? What's your
Yeah,
kind
I'll be
of
really quick because we need to close out. I value my time a lot and I hate it when people are late to meetings.
mm,
Like I feel like you're wasting my time. You don't respect other people's times. And I get it. Sometimes we're in back-to-back meetings all day, so you're constantly like 5 minutes late going to the next one. But yeah, that usually gets me going because usually it's the people that are managing their time. They're there, they're on time, they're prepared. Oh, that's the other
right.
thing. If you're not prepared for meetings, that bugs me too.
Forget
But
it. Yeah.
yeah, so like come on time, be prepared. That's what
Yeah.
I would just ask of you because it does annoy me because it feels like you don't respect my time and you're wasting my time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
And it's a situation that may not, intent doesn't always match perception, but your perception is the reality. And the person is saying to you that my time is more valuable than yours.
Yeah. And
Right.
it and things happen. I totally get that. So, you can always shoot a note and say like, "Hey, I'm going to be late to this meeting because, XYZ." And that's
Yeah.
totally fine. And I appreciate that. But if you're constantly late, you're constantly unprepared for meetings, that like drives me up the wall.
Well, it's like we say in leadership, like the trend is your friend. And when someone does it, once is an outlier, it's just, it happened.
Hmm.
The trend
Yeah.
is your
It's
friend.
yeah. For better or worse, it is your friend. Yes.
Right. Right.
But yeah,
That's fun.
that's usually what I say, and it kind of sets the tone for the team. They're like, oh, okay, don't be late to Daniel's meetings.
I think that is completely appropriate to set that
Yeah.
expectation. Like
Yeah.
that is baseline, like bare minimum, people. What are we doing?
Yeah, but it's nice to remind people
Yes, of
time is
course. Yes. I'm
valuable
not saying
and
you shouldn't.
respect people's time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our short snippet of the work preferences survey. So that was only one, two, three, four questions. No, five questions.
Right.
Five questions from a potential 23 question list. Ours is usually 10 to 15 questions, but yeah.
I love it.
There you go. Work preferences survey. And what you can do if you have ChatGPT is you can fill out the work preferences survey, put it in the knowledge for your custom GPT, and you can share that with your entire team so they can always ask their this new AI assistant about your work preferences survey before they engage you.
I think that's so cool.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
All
is.
right. Thanks, Carrie.
All right. That was fun. See ya.
See you on the next one. All right. Bye.